Good afternoon, everybody. Today we are going to walk around Red Wing, Minnesota. We'll take some videos, some pictures for you so you guys can see what it looks like. So this weekend we don't have our daughter Ashley. She stayed back. She starts college classes on Monday morning. But we do have our son, Spencer. He got home from basic training a couple weeks ago, so he decided to come out this weekend, and hopefully you can meet him later on. Hey, what are we doing? Where are we going?
We're walking around Red Wing. Looking for a bakery for my wife. Did we find a bakery yet?
No, we didn't find one yet. We walked around Red Wing for a little bit and found my bakery that I wanted to go to. Got a nice raspberry coffee cake that looks pretty good for tomorrow morning. And now I think we're gonna head back on the water again and go to Treasure Island Resort and Casino.
Next level.
You don't talk? Okay, so we made it to Treasure Island, and that over there is the transient slips here at Treasure Island. And then they kind of put the bigger boats down here, and there's Not Too Shabby next to a 47 Regal, I think, and then a nice Viking. The family bought it. So
Looks like they have some entertainment up there tonight.
And at Treasure Island, it's a Indian casino and resort right on the Mississippi River. You got a street taco vendor, and it looks like they might have music playing tonight. This pavilion here is for weddings right out here by the river. So we're going to be walking up and paying for our slip. So, Red Wing this weekend. Gonna have a great time. They've got bands here tonight, getting that set up, picnic tables. They're gonna have tacos, an open bar, and they got games for the kids, so should be fun tonight. Hey, good morning YouTube Nation. This is Bob on Motor Vessel Not Too Shabby, and Heather's down here this weekend. Well, she's filming me as I film you guys, or as I film myself. So I was thinking about what would I try to call this weekly series, and we're not doing too well doing weekly, so I apologize for that. But this week is entitled Welcome to Our Weekly Shit Show. The weekend did not start off all that great, and I'll go into that. And it was actually one of the more depressing weekends, beginning of the start of the weekend that I've had on the boating season. So I sat down and wrote a list of what were the successes that we had this weekend and what were some of the failures. And so the good thing is the successes have outweighed, and there are more of them than the failures. So I'm just going to go through a couple of those, what we did well this weekend and what we've gotten done as we think about getting ready for our Great Loop experience, and kind of what contributed to this being a weekly shit show on Thursday night and Friday. So a couple of the successes that we've had. So this weekend, and I'll show that when I get a chance to open the engine room, but I did change the oil on both engines to include the oil filters and fuel filters for the first time this season, and for the first time that I've done it by myself on this boat. So I've got a Uline oil changer in the engine room, and that worked fabulous. So that was a big success. I was happy to be able to get that done. You can see behind me right here, my iPad is mounted on the helm space, and so this is one of the things that I've done is I've put sorry about that. I've mounted the iPad. It's just kind of an suction holder on top of the helm, but I downloaded Navionics USA HD maps, and you can see we're in the marina right now, and this is my iPad Pro, and so we're going to use this as a backup system to my Raymarine E120s and radar system and chart plotter. So got redundant chart plotting capabilities, and really super happy about the Navionics. The map detail and the charts are just fabulous. So looking forward to doing that. A couple other things that were a success this weekend. Kind of hokey, but I think it looks pretty good. You can see behind me here, we put a key rack on the gangway entrance. It's got all of our keys for our dinghy, for the boat, and everything else that we have, so we can keep them organized and figure out where they're stored at certain spots. Let's see here. One problem that we've had with the boat, and I'll show you that here in just a second. So as I was saying, one problem that we've had with the boat is you've seen previously that we had the camper canvas installed, and before we had the canvas installed on the back, we had the Tierra just kind of travel cover. And one of the things in our first year of use with this is we had, and you can see here, the track that comes down, water for some reason gets siphoned when it comes off the hardtop. It comes in through a space between these tracks were already installed by Tierra, gets siphoned through a space there, and runs down both sides of this track literally in torrents, and then spills out into the steps all the way down, and then covers the whole floor. Now there is a track in the bottom of the floor where it will eventually catch water, but it washes bugs down here, it washes dirt, and the entry into the cockpit area from the aft deck, it looks like a shit show all the time after it rains. So one of the things that I did, now it looks kind of hokey, but I'm going to see if it works, is I took some extruded plastic, like a plastic dowel, and caulked it in place to create kind of a dam, if you will, there to kind of run the water down the inside track, and then created two diversions for the water that spills down here to get forced out this way, and then the water that spills down the outside to get forced out that way. And the slope of this gunwale where you step, which should allow the water to go out. So I'm hoping that will work. Same thing on this side. However, when it got siphoned through here, it would pour out here down this wall and behind the seat, and then it would start pouring in down through the seat, and then pour down here, and then spill out this way. So again, I created the dam up here so that hopefully it runs down the interior of this, and then created an interior dam, and then again another exterior when it runs down the outside. So we'll see if this concept works, but water intrusion right back here has been kind of an issue for us since we got the boat. So that was one project that I worked on. I know it looks kind of hokey, but it, other than, you know, grinding some grooves into the fiberglass and re-fiberglassing that, there was no other way that I could figure out how to create a less intrusive kind of water diversion system. So we'll see how it works. Yeah, so that was one project that I got done this weekend. So one other big success that we had this weekend, a local canvas guy, Kyle's Canvas in Wabasha, Minnesota, great guy. We talked to him earlier this summer about potentially doing some privacy screens made from Pfeiffer-Tex, the 90% blocking UV screening, and he said, yeah, I could do that over the winter. So Kyle, you know, said that he was pretty busy over the summer and he would pattern the stuff for us and then take out the patterns and do them over the winter time when they weren't busy at his canvas shop. But he had 3 or 4 other boats that needed to get canvas done, or the screens done, and so he ordered all the material and did all of us at the same time. And it just turned out fabulous. We decided not to, you can get Pfeiffer-Tex in either white or black, and we decided not to do it in white just because there's a couple other boats in our marina that have white down the line here, and the white does tend to get dirty more faster, and I've seen mildew on it and stuff, even though Pfeiffer-Tex is not supposed to mildew. So I'll give you a shot of what the boat looks like from the other side. Yeah, so the Pfeiffer-Tex on the boat really kind of made the boat pop now with the dark steel vinyl wrapped hull and the Pfeiffer-Tex black on the windows, and then the black on the back, and then with the black canvas cover we have for the dinghy. The boat is really beginning to look quite sharp. So the reason why this week was called the shit show episode, you can see my hat, not too shabby. So this week was the shit show episode because the entire purpose of the weekend was to come down here and replace all of our anchor rod with chain. And I'll show you what the plan was. Anyway, as I'll show you what we're doing with this, but I ordered the chain, looked into our windlass manual from Lumar, excuse me, and looked at what, you know, the gypsy on our windlass said the chain could be or should be, and Peerless Chain is headquartered and manufactured in Winona, Minnesota, about 25 minutes from here. And so I was calling around to find chain, and you could order it through Defender or any West Marine or any other place, and they all get it from Peerless. And you were going to end up paying, you know, obviously top dollar at West Marine, but you're going to pay even a lot of money at Defender Marine, you know, and primarily that's all shipping. So I called Peerless Chain, and I said, isn't there somebody locally that I can get chain from? You know, my boat's only 25 minutes from where you manufacture this stuff. I'd really not like to have to pay for shipping to the East Coast just to have it shipped back to the Midwest. And so they hooked me up with an engineering firm in Winona that is one of their distributors, and I was able to order the chain that I wanted. So I ordered the chain from the individual, great guy, and he helped me get it together. And somewhere in our conversations, either lost in translation, I screwed up, he screwed up, who knows. Don't really understand what happened. Thursday afternoon, my son and I drive down to the boat after work and get everything set, and we're working on the windlass and getting stuff out. Friday morning we drive down to the engineering firm to pick up our chain, and it looks right. It's in the barrel. I pull it out, I look at it. It's hot dip galvanized. It's 5/16. It's labeled G43 on the side, and everything looks right. So we load up 400 pounds of chain in the back of our car, of our small SUV, and drive it up to the boat. So as I was describing, we Friday morning drove down, picked up the chain, and you can see my anchor, my chain, and my rope rode are all sitting on the dock. And the chain that was in the came with the boat. This is 5/16, and it's labeled. Let's see here. Oh, it says G4 on it. So 5/16 G4 hot dip galvanized chain. It's kind of standard anchor rode chain. Excuse me. We get the barrel back up here, unload 400 pounds of chain. We stretch it out on the dock into 25 feet increments because I'm going to paint it all and figure out how to mark it. And with the red, green, and blue that we have here, we're going to mark it at 50-foot increments up to 300 feet. And I've got 350 feet of chain that I was going to put in my locker. And so we are getting ready to mark it all, and I then all of a sudden I take a look at what this chain and the chain that I ordered sitting next to it, and the links are not the same size. The wire making the link is the same diameter, it's 5/16, but the links that the chain was ordered, the links were longer. So G43 must have been something different, obviously. And though the first link fit our windlass Gypsy, but the subsequent links did not fit the Gypsy. So at that point, I had to load 400 pounds of chain back up. I called the engineering firm and said something went wrong somewhere, and we don't have the right chain. And they're like, what do you mean you don't have the right chain? I explained it to them over and over. I drove 30 minutes back to Winona, dropped the chain off, met with their shop and parts manager, and said, hey, I brought my anchor rode this time down with me. I said, this is the chain I need. He pulled up my order. Something got screwed up somewhere. Anyway, got the chain on order from Peerless. It'll be available on Tuesday. So I didn't get my chain replaced at all. But the other part that was a serious shit show this weekend is, as I'm unloading everything out of the anchor locker and I'm taking out the anchor chain and I'm cleaning the hell out of my anchor locker that's got mildew in it, and I'm bleaching it out and making it all white again, I find that my windlass, the solenoid switch that sits in the anchor locker up underneath and is bolted to the bottom, that's where the power comes into, and all of the foot switching and the switch from the helm get linked into it. That switch is hot as hell. I mean, so frickin' hot you can't even touch it. And I can hear it sizzling and then popping inside the anchor locker. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I find that none of the switches work, and the solenoid is stuck in the anchor retrieve or anchor up position, and it's pulled the anchor rod so tight you can't even move it. So I had to disconnect all of the power leads, the switching leads to that solenoid, get out the windlass winch and get all the tension taken out of it. So I removed everything, and so now I have to order a new solenoid switch. It's back ordered. It's going to take 2 weeks to get in. It's about $225 part to install in that. It's on order. So now I got to figure out how to get 400 pounds of anchor chain back up here again. I got to reinstall this and put the anchor back together so I can put that back into the pulpit, and then go through this whole rigmarole again. So anyway, it was not a great Friday for the Not Too Shabby crew. But overall, the boat continues to perform really well. We couldn't be more happy with it. I'll show you how the dinghy ended up fitting. I know we did a whole episode on the dinghy, but it really did turn out great. One of the things that we did do on it was it came with the dinghy did come with a 2015 carbureted Yamaha 25 horsepower motor, And sorry for the shakiness, I'm walking down the dock. Anyway, it came with a 2015 25 horsepower carbureted motor. And when we were at the boat show this year in Minneapolis, I stopped by the Yamaha dealer, and in 2017 they came out with a fuel injected version of the 25 horsepower motor. And so I called the local Yamaha dealer where we live and kind of talked to him about that. And anyway, I got a great trade-in value and took advantage of a Yamaha summer clearance sale. And because we already had all the remote controls or the controls set up for our center console dinghy, the difference in price between our trade-in and a brand new Yamaha 25 electronic fuel injected engine was just about $1,500. And so we invested in that for peace of mind of having the warranty on that engine while we're on the Great Loop, and the increased fuel capacity or increased fuel economy, and the lightweight of the engine. It really makes a significant difference. We're in the break-in period. We've been going out for dinghy rides. It's super quiet, same power, lighter weight. So pretty happy with that purchase all around as well. So anyway, that is pretty much this week's wrap up. We're also going to tie in some videos from last week. We went up to Treasure Island, which is an Indian casino or Indian reservation, Prairie Island Indian reservation near Red Wing, Minnesota. They have a casino there and a water park, and so we took our son up there last weekend, and so we've got some video from that trip, and we'll tie that into this week's video. So hope everybody has a great day. Heather?
Bye.
Looking forward to talking to you guys again soon. Bye.
So,
Go!
Woody, be ready to go save your dad.
Oh yeah, baby!
How long is